All right, it's that time. It's that time again. It is for the 84th time, Travis. We get to say it's losing sucks.
Yes, sir.
It is another episode. Week 7's in the books. The Randy Moss of episodes. Trav, how are you feeling about this one as we head into recapping the Week 7 action?
84. Is that Vikings Randy Moss only? He was 81 in New England,
Yep.
I think. Prime Randy, I guess. Very excited about episode 84. We had some sad news that we'll get to, but we are officially halfway through the season, and it's time to, if you're in survival mode, we've got tips to help you survive. If you are thriving right now, it is time to step on the neck of those that are not. So we'll talk a little bit of strategy. We'll run through Week 7 games. The cold air is back in Dallas, Dustin. We had 50 this morning. Feels like 46 on the morning walk. Felt great.
Beautiful start. It's a beautiful start to the day.
Halloween is upon us.
If I do say so myself. Yeah, it's spooky season, and we've got some pretty scary stuff to talk about here in fantasy this week. So, Trav, without any further ado, let's get into the rundown.
We're going to dive in to the rundown. I'll be exhausted because it's like a triathlon. We're going to dive in.
A huge slate. Let me turn that off.
Loop it back.
Always looping it.
Running twice.
We're going to clean this up. Here we go, though. Slate of games we played here. Trav, I will start us off. The Browns and the Ravens, AFC North matchup. Cleveland, man. Chubb gets it done again. He leads the NFL, and we're halfway through the fantasy season. Unfortunately, lost David Njoku. We'll get to that later. But Gus Edwards, here's a story that, gives fantasy owners a reprieve if you picked him up and you're the J.K. Dobbins owner. He returns, gives you 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's your Gus Edwards, man. Goal line guy, get you through on touchdowns. So hopefully he's able to get you through until some sort of relief comes, or he could just be good enough to keep you afloat.
Yeah, do we have Dobbins? Do you think he's out 3 to 4 weeks?
I think they said 4 to 6.
4 to 6. Yeah. Okay. So Gus Edwards, if he has not been picked up, is a huge pickup.
Absolutely.
He looked really good. He should be the lead bell cow there for right now. Bucks and Panthers, Tampa Bay completely laid an egg. It really started with the dropped home run touchdown that was dropped beautifully in the breadbasket by Tom Brady. Mike Evans drops it. He can't believe it. However, Mike Evans finishes 9 for 96. Even after the huge drop, it felt like after that they just deflated the rest of the day and they could not get back. Carolina wins. DJ Moore finally finds the end zone. Finally. Yay. I had him in. I had him in 2 lineups just out of desperation. It finally worked out.
Yeah.
People were wondering about this backfield. It is, to me, it's Deontay Foreman goes over 100 rushing yards. Hubbard looks banged up.
Man,
I don't know how much. Who would you trade for Deontay Foreman?
For Deontay Foreman?
Like, would you rather have Gus Edwards or Foreman?
I'd probably have Gus Edwards, I guess.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's honestly, fool's gold, but that offense, Carolina, I don't know if I can trust it.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, since it's Carolina, the Bucks won, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They won. Mm-hmm. The Falcons and the Bengals played, and this one was close. And then the game started. Bengals absolutely destroyed the Falcons. Everyone disappointed for the Falcons. They just continue to run the ball at will. And by at will, just they will run the ball. It doesn't matter the scenario of the game. Pitt stopped very close to a touchdown, but ends with 3 for 9.
Brutal.
Which is exactly what you wanted when you drafted him in the 3rd round. But an absolute massive day. And let me tell you, Travis, in a day where I scored my most points in our home league, I also had the privilege of facing Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Fun stack.
So that put that to bed. And Burrow, man, 481 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran for a score in 20 yards. Mixon scored. Chase scored. Higgins
Twice.
had a nice game. Boyd scored. if they were wearing a Bengals jersey, let's just say that they scored and it was a great day. So this one, if you watched it and you're a Bengals fan, congratulations. I'm happy for you. Must be nice.
I played in one of my home leagues. I was playing against Mariota and Pitts Stack. And I think
Is that a stack?
John Gruden called him Mariota one time or something.
Is that a stack? Mariota and Pitts?
Well, it should have been. They threw it to him on the goal line, and the ball, it looked like it crossed to me, but they didn't give it to him. And I didn't win.
We suck again.
Yeah, they suck. I mean, Atlanta sucks.
so bad.
I'm not taking on Pitts anywhere, if even a buy low right now.
No. You have to pay me to take him.
Yeah, moving on. Lions and Cowboys. Amon-Ra St. Brown leaves the game in the first quarter to the chagrin of the owners who've been waiting for him to come back. However, the silver lining is that it wasn't serious. They thought it was a concussion. It did not even end up being that. So he's fine. He'll be back. DeAndre Swift, surprise inactive.
Yeah, that one hurt.
It feels like he's been gone forever. On the Dallas side, 24 points for the Cowboys. It did not feel like that. As a Cowboys fan, it felt like it was a game the whole time. And then all of a sudden, like 3 minutes went by and they had 24 points on some turnovers. Tony Pollard out snapping Zeke, but Zeke gets the end zone twice.
Yeah.
I still think Zeke is the 1A there. So
I think we're starting to see that Pollard take over.
it's 3 years in the making, and it may take 4.
I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see it. The Giants and the Jags played. Oh, I've been waiting to talk about this game. The Giants and the Jags played. Yeah, the Giants won. Yeah, yada, yada. Barkley had a great game. Yeah, 28 touches, 135 yards. Great game. Awesome. Yeah, Barkley, you know what he does. But let's talk about the Jags. The Jags, man. James Robinson had a game on the bench. He's gone. He's not on the team. Get him out of town. Put him on a bus. Buy him a ticket. Wave bye-bye. Bye-bye, James Robinson. It's ETN time. It is time for ETN, and he had 119 yards, and you know what? Oh, he found the end zone. My God.
So good.
Finally a breakout game for ETN, and Christian Kirk got it going. This team actually looked competent in losing, but you know what? ETN, that's all I care about. That is amazing, and now we finally get workhorse ETN, Travis. Do you know what that means? It means I can sleep at night.
I mean, realistically, how many guys are you taking over ETN rest of season at running back?
I can count them probably on one hand.
Let's hear it.
I'm taking Saquon.
On the spot.
Yeah, Saquon. I'd probably still take Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
I mean,
Eckler.
To me, Eckler. Yep. I mean, maybe Jonathan Taylor. Maybe.
Kenneth Walker?
No.
Wow.
No.
So
No.
he's a top 5.
For me, yeah. He turns into a top 5.
Over
Absolutely.
Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb.
Chubb's up there.
Yeah.
I would take him over Dalvin.
Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, I'd take him over Leonard Fournette.
All right, wow. He's up there. This is huge news. Landscape changing, championship potential winning.
Finally.
Trade away.
Derrick
of
Henry,
James Robinson.
Jared actually brought up in the comments. It's hard to leave that man out, man, because as the season goes along, Henry's gonna absolutely continue bulldozing people.
We'll say top 8. We'll slip him in the top 8.
I'll put him in the top 8. Henry's always in there, so I'm not gonna disrespect that man.
All right, on to my Green Bay Packers, who absolutely did not show up versus the Washington Commanders.
It's a beautiful game.
They are pissing me off. What the hell is even that? Do we have that drop?
Oh, yeah.
What the hell?
Even that?
It's ridiculous at this point. 38 yards rushing as a team. This was supposed to be their identity this
That's
year.
killer.
Rodgers cannot get it done right now. Aaron Jones finds the end zone twice to save his day and turn it into a really good day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's Aaron Rodgers' fault, or do you think the passing weapons really are not up to speed or healthy?
In terms of Aaron Rodgers, and I hope I'm right on this, Travis, but let me just say.
My eyes are going to roll so far in the back of my head, they're going to get stuck.
I hope it is. I hope we. Oh God.
The problem is this. The problem is it's already down. Everybody's value over there is down.
Right.
It's going to be even more down, I think, after Buffalo this week.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's not
Could
the game
they-
you turn it around.
Could they be down 20 and they put up good come from behind numbers?
I think they'll put up
Potentially.
fantasy numbers. Absolutely. I think it's possible they put up fantasy. It's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I mean, he can score the ball, but that team's not going to win that game. I don't believe it.
I'm so undecided on if I want them to trade for a receiver because it's going to kill Alan Lazard if they do that.
I don't. For fantasy, no, I don't want it to happen. But
For Aaron Rodgers, I want it to happen. For the
Sure.
Packers, I want it to happen.
right.
A.J. Dillon
yeah.
is
Yeah.
unplayable
We'll talk.
right now.
Yeah, we'll talk about him later in the show.
All
AJ
right.
Dillon's definitely a name to have conversations about. Another team that's full in the
Wait
news
a
right
second.
now.
Wait a second. We got a second half of this game. The Packers
Oh,
were
this
not
is
the
true.
only team
This
playing.
Is true. All right.
Terry
Let's
McLaurin
let's
and my
bring him
boy
up.
Antonio Gibson gets another touchdown. Brian Robinson, though, gets 20 carries.
Yeah.
I hate to see that. Everybody kind of is
I
expecting
mean,
that.
volume or
And
touchdown,
Taylor
you know.
Heineke looks like a decent streamer once again in Superflex leagues. I streamed him myself in 3 Superflex leagues,
Same.
and it worked out. If you
Yeah.
can get 13 to 17 from somebody that you picked up off the waiver in a Superflex,
Why not?
very valuable.
Yeah, yeah. There he goes again. Giving you hope. What is happening in Indianapolis? They played the Titans. Henry, of course, ate all the touches up. He got it done. You don't touch the passing weapons in Tennessee. But Matt Ryan, let's talk about him. He's obviously the story. He is out. He is being replaced. It's not due to injury. This is irrelevant. Regardless of the injury, Sam Ehlinger of Texas University is going to be their starting quarterback the rest of the season. This is interesting, Travis.
There's no way that's the rest of the season.
It is going to be the rest of the season, and I was looking into it. There's a few things in his contract that they're trying to avoid.
In Ryan's contract?
And Ryan's contract.
Okay.
They don't see him as the future, and they don't want to pay him, another $40 million. So they're trying to avoid that. He's not going to play the rest of the season. It's looking like.
Was
it's
it
going to be-
always the plan then? If they didn't have,
I don't think so.
If they weren't going like 10-6 or 10-7,
I think the plan was if they got off to a hot start, Matt Ryan was the catalyst to an upper tier team, then absolutely they'd pay it. But it looks like his arm is shot, is what people have been saying. And Ehlinger being more mobile, maybe this opens up some things, but I don't necessarily know that it's going to be an upgrade for this offense altogether. Ehlinger had questions how it affects Pittman. I think it's a downgrade. I think it's a downgrade to Pittman. Jonathan Taylor, I think having a rushing quarterback can help in some aspects, but I think you're not going to have as many sustained drives. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but anytime you lose an experienced quarterback for an inexperienced, questionable pick at best, it was a 6th round pick, I believe, 7th round pick.
yeah.
It's not a great look. So I love Sam Ehlinger, big UT fan, but this is not good for fantasy.
He's giving off Tim Tebow vibes right now.
He's giving off something. He does like to target his receivers though, so could be good for big plays.
All right, and we're moving on. Texans and Raiders. The Houston Texans. Damian Pierce, Dustin.
This guy.
have one
This
share
guy.
now. I traded for Damian Pierce, but man, how did we not get any of him in redraft?
I mean,
Is it because he's a rookie? We
I
didn't
think
know
it's
what
because
to
it's the
expect.
Texans. We didn't think they could be good. And honestly,
Marlon Mack was still there.
in a span of like 6 weeks, he went from being undrafted to being a 5th round pick. So it was like no one wanted to really. I shouldn't say no one. Some people wanted to believe it. It was a big thing, I ended up with pretty much none of him. But you know what? It happens all the time. For every Damian Pierce, you also have a Tyler Algier. You also have, these other, you have a Tyrion Davis Price. You have a Trey Sermon. So you're not really sure.
10% of them hit. He's the 10%.
Right. Exactly.
Wide receivers and tight end are so inconsistent for Houston. I'm avoiding it altogether right now. Is Brandon Cooks a buy low because he might get traded? If I told you right now he will not be traded, are you still buying low?
No, I'm not going to buy low. This
It's bad,
offense,
yeah.
Davis Mills looks really bad. Inconsistent, I should say. He has moments, but it's very, very inconsistent. I expect them to draft a quarterback.
All right, I'm going to leave Vegas for you here because this was your call.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs was my big pick. We'll be recapping that, but I'm going to take a quick victory lap. Of course, it's Josh Jacobs against the number one team to play against your running back. Houston absolutely gives up points, and I called it last week, or heading into this week. 155 yards, 3 touchdowns, huge day. The weapons for the Texans or the Raiders were able to do pretty much whatever they wanted. Adams had 8 for 95. You love to see, one of these upper tier, especially in that division where we just want to see something. We want to see something resembling, a competition.
I really want to see them fully loaded.
Yeah.
And not just a week 1 fully loaded. Like, give them 2 or 3 weeks to get it figured out.
Right.
With Waller, Renfro, Adams.
Yeah.
This version of Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
And
Looks
let's
like the
see
bye
if
week.
Derek Carr can support him.
Bye week did him well. Let's move on to the Jets and Broncos. The Jets. This one hurts, man.
Nothing else in this game matters. It really doesn't.
I'm not going to do the my leg drop for Brees Hall.
No.
He tore in his ACL. He's out for the year. But hey, they have James Robinson now. Big trade went down. Opened up obviously the door for my darling ETN. But what do we make of Robinson to the Jets now? This dichotomy between him and Michael Carter. I mean, this is.
I don't think he slips into the starting role and just takes over that backfield like we were watching.
Be a split.
Yeah, I think Michael Carter now is a very viable flex option in half PPR leagues. Right. He was already on pace to catch over 40 balls, and that pace is going to skyrocket now. He will be the pass catching back. Brees was starting to even take all of that. So I can see Carter catching 4 or 5, maybe more balls per week. They're not throwing downfield.
No, and
so everything is out of the backfield.
Not to gloss over it because this also happened, but starting lineman for the Jets, Elijah Vera Tucker, is out for the season with a torn tricep. That is brutal. So I feel like the Jets, once again, just down bad. I feel like this is more appropriate.
Oh, no! We suck again!
Yeah,
they don't suck yet.
They're 5-2. I got to give them some props, but this is a team that's looking banged up. Corey Davis goes down with a sprain. Elijah Moore is kind of questionable where he stands with the team.
It could get ugly quick.
This isn't a cohesive unit. This isn't something where like, oh no.
I think it's fun when they're winning because we haven't seen it in so long, but it could go up in flames really quick. But that coaching staff is so hard. It's kind of like Detroit. Like, you want them to do well. I love rooting for Saleh.
Can I just talk about what you said? So we've got our show sheet. We've got stats and breakdowns of each team, and then Travis just writes in our sheet, Denver sucks. I'm not talking about Denver. I hope they lose every week.
That's exactly how I feel. I'm not mentioning a single name on Denver till they show me some life.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Look, I mean, now
bleep them kids, in the words of Michael Jordan.
Fair enough. We don't got to talk about the Broncos.
Next.
Nobody there is fun. Let's talk about the Chiefs and 49ers, Travis.
All right. Very sharp performance by Mr. Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. You love to see it. The NFL loves to see it. And fantasy football loves to see when Mahomes goes for 423 and 3.
Football,
maybe 1 or 2 mini touchdowns for Hardman for everybody to be happy with. Every time he scored, I'm like, come on, man. But Juju is coming on strong now. Last 2 weeks, Dustin, 113 in a score and 124 in a score. He is on pace, believe it or not, Dustin, for 1,200 yards, which was the line set before the season by yours truly. I said Juju will go for 1,210. And it sounded ambitious, but all of a sudden he's back on pace.
I don't think he can do it.
Other side. Actually, real quick, Pacheco did lead the team in rush attempts. He technically got the start.
God, what a joke, man.
Clyde
what a
gets
joke.
the touchdown.
He's the starter.
It could.
Oh, come on.
I think as the season goes on, maybe he starts to take over. We saw Jerick McKinnon be very valuable
for sure
late in the season and into the playoffs for the Chiefs. He's still there, but my goodness, if something happens to either McKinnon or Clyde. Pacheco's going to be nice. Christian McCaffrey, looked really good in the limited touches. He's going to explode in this offense. There is so much room with Kittle blocking, the best blocking tight end in football.
Oh, we do love block. We're in a point per block league.
The respect that you have to give Debo and Ayuk and Kittle that is going to give McCaffrey so much space. He's not played with this much space probably since Cam Newton was there, which was obviously a historic season.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it totally adios to Jeff Wilson and Elijah Mitchell? Are you hanging on to either as a handcuff?
Yeah. I mean, at this point,
Both.
I wouldn't drop them outright. Like,
so if you have either, what if you have both? What if you had Jeff Wilson because you had Mitchell?
No. Well, I mean, I have that situation on one team.
So do I.
And I am holding, sadly.
You have to hold. Now you're holding both.
Yeah, like, what do you do? Like, it's such
you
it's
hope
such a
that one of
sad
them gets
scenario.
traded here.
Traded, or you don't ever hope for injury, but you're like, well, that's the only way one of these guys is going to be relevant. So it's like,
but I mean,
It
I guess
sucks.
when Mitchell comes back, we'll see who the two is, and
yeah,
which should be him. I don't. Jeff Wilson may be done. George Kittle 6 for 98 and a score. Welcome back to the elite tight end party, big fella. On to the Seahawks and Chargers for you.
All right, man. Seahawks, another injury in this game. DK went down. Looks like a patellar injury, and they said no surgery, which is a positive, but they didn't really give a definitive timeline. So we're gonna wait on that. Kenneth Walker, still good at football. Who knew? He goes for 168.
This is why I asked
touchdowns.
Walker or ETN.
It's still ETN for me.
Okay.
But look, it's not like Kenneth Walker is nothing. I think he's still going to be a top 12 back the rest of the year. I just think that ETN, like you said, top 8 for me.
If I had Leonard Fournette and somebody offered me Walker 1-for-1, I'm hitting accept.
I honestly can't even say like definitively no. I like the passing work for Fournette a little bit, but like even then, Kenneth Walker is so good. And
he's getting the passing work too.
Exactly. So it's like no,
Fournette's
I agree.
passing work is like 5 for 15.
Yeah, I like Kenneth Walker. Yeah,
He looks special.
He's very nice. And then question for Seattle. I mean, is it Marquise Goodwin? Is that?
Yeah, I think so. Watching that game, because I have some Walker shares now.
Yeah,
he was very involved. He's got the speed to beat anybody deep, and they just play with no pressure. There's no reason that Geno would just not sling it.
Geno just looks so good.
And Jared had Marquise Goodwin on his deep sleepers for the waiver wire article this week. He was right on the money.
Can we just talk about how good he's been with his article?
Yeah, Jared's been all over it.
You've got to check.
Maybe
his
you should
out.
start doing our big picks, Jared, because
like
we
seriously,
suck.
like we gotta get like a segment for this guy or something, man. Like he's been putting in the work and he's been doing great. If you haven't read his article the last 4 weeks, you've got to check it out. It's been useful
Your
for
whole
me.
starting lineup could be made of people from this article or from these articles the last 3 weeks.
His articles have literally helped me turn around my team. Like it's no joke.
He's killing it.
So big fan. There is another team in this matchup though, Trav, and that's gonna be the Chargers. Eckler.
The Fighting
Unbelievable
Ecklers.
right now. Yeah, the Fighting Ecklers, because Keenan banged up. Mike Williams gone. Eckler is like, you know what, guys? I'll just be our offense. And
give me all of it.
Staley's like, all right, fine. That's good. He had 12 for 96 and a touchdown through the air, Travis. That's like, it's
Top
like
5 receiver.
He is Space Jam. He takes all of the other talents and then he has them. They're his. He's not giving them back.
That's Cooper Kupp.
And it's
12 for 96 in a score is Cooper Kupp.
He's the number 1 running back on the season so far.
Yeah.
And they go on bye week this coming week, so not with Eckler this week. But still, you're going to wait to see how Keenan Allen is, feeling coming into week 9. Josh Palmer as well, he's banged up. We could realistically have an offense with Gerald Everett, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Carter, and then some other no-name wide receiver if Keenan Allen isn't ready to go.
Yeah.
So
I think Gerald Everett is a huge winner from this injury.
I think so too. If there's
Like,
got to
do you
be
think-
a winner, I think Everett's it.
Let's say over the next 4 weeks, do you think Everett has 32 targets
The next how many weeks?
over the next 4?
4
So
weeks.
eight-
I think that's reasonable. I
8
think that's
per
reasonable.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Which
He's
should
a
lead
solid-
to top 5 or 6. I mean, that's Everett now climbs over Hawkinson.
if he gets the touchdowns, sure. I think he's definitely a 100%. You have to keep him in your lineup.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what you want for tight ends, man. Touchdowns and opportunity. Let's talk Steelers and Dolphins, man.
Steelers and Dolphins. 2 quarterbacks here who really struggle in general to throw. Pittsburgh, I trust nobody on this offense. Maybe Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, I guess.
When he's been healthy, he's been pretty reliable. And regardless of quarterback, he seems to find a way. Miami, I mean, real quick, Pittsburgh, Najee Harris. We said he's not a top 20 running back. We've been saying this for over a month now. I see nothing that says he is.
Not on this team. Not on
No.
this team. I think he is playing through an injury, Trav. It's I don't know. Like you look at him last year and you look at him this year, it doesn't look like the same player to me.
He can barely move.
Yeah, he's not the same guy, and he does not have the same support. So I'm not going all out with everyone else in the dynasty community and the fantasy community at large saying, you have to sell him for cheap. Redraft, yes. If you can sell him on name value for whatever reason still,
Mostert
sure,
or
do it.
Najee in redraft.
Oh, man, I hate to say it, bro. But
Can you believe we are at that point?
I would probably... You could
It's
probably...
Mostert.
Yeah, you have to go Mostert, but
It's
you could probably,
Mostert
I'd probably be saying
over
I'd want
Najee.
Mostert more. I like Mostert plus. Like,
And you could probably get it, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if it's one or the other,
he's
Mostert's
getting
winning
so
that
much
battle.
volume. Najee is, and it's just like he can't do anything with it because that team is so bad.
At
which
some
hurts.
point, I think, if you have the depth to hold on to Warren, please do it. At some point, if
They're gonna
their
shut him
season, if their season is done, it's going to be the Warren show, and he's going to make every bit of his opportunity.
Yeah.
On the
agree.
Miami side, Tua returns to give you a whopping 15 points, which is about what you can expect. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill did not kill you. Mostert continues to be a huge value, like we just said. He is RB12 over the last 3 weeks. There's no reason. There's no reason, barring injury, that Mostert should be out of your lineup.
I agree. That's speedy little demon there. We can talk about the Chicago Bears if you'd like.
It's a nice finish. Look how this
And
worked out for you.
And the New England Patriots. You know, the New England Patriots that were supposed to dominate the Bears. They were going to throw all these things at Justin Fields. And then the Bears had other plans. Justin Fields, holy cow, they pulled out. Look, call it an upset because it was. Bears were not favored. But this was a wet, nasty game. And the Bears just kind of toughed it out, man. Able to run it. Justin Fields, man, 28% of the rushes were for him. And that's what we love. He
Hit
dominated 82 yards and a touchdown on the ground. He now he's running at the same clip as like Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray and all these other quarterbacks. I love what I'm seeing from him and his development and what this offense is willing to do to cater to him. If we continue seeing usage like that, I don't care who he faces, Trav, he's going to be a starting quarterback here in short order.
It felt like 150 of his 82 rushing yards were on third down.
It did well because it felt like he was having to run
It's
a
like third
ton.
and 16. It's like, all right, good. They'll get off the field. And they almost sack him, and he's still just trotting for the first down, reaches the ball out.
good.
I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I mean, Bill Belichick probably did not sleep last night. Just nightmares of Justin Fields running for first downs.
No, but he didn't throw for a lot. He only threw for 179 yards, which means
fine.
the pass catchers. I mean, you're not able to save your lineup, with a Darnell Mooney or a Komet, unfortunately. But we are finding some fantasy relevance from this rushing attack, both with the running backs and the quarterback, and I'll take it. On the other side of the ball, Trev, we have a new quarterback for the New England Patriots. It's already
Shocked.
I, for one, am shocked. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Because
You should be.
I
It's
spent
very
all
shocking.
offseason touting Mac Jones and how good he was and how I thought he was safe. That's what we talked about. We talked about him being safe. And then Bailey Zappi, I remember saying when they drafted him, I'm like, not that I think it would ever happen, but Bailey Zappi is the kind of guy that I liked coming out of college, and I hated that he went to the Patriots because I thought he would never play.
Yeah.
Lo and
He looks
behold,
good.
here he is. I mean, as soon as he comes in, he hits Ramondre Stevenson on a wheel route. Jacoby hits a huge 30-yard touchdown. And then everyone else, I think they all left the stadium. I think they all just kind of decided to stop playing football because the offense did nothing. Travis had an absolute heartbreaker of a matchup that he needed 11 points from Damian Harris and Tyquan Thornton. And how many points did you get, Trav?
I think I got 2, 3. Maybe not even 3.
That feels bad.
It was horrible. Is Damian Harris done, or is this just a ease him back into maybe a 40% split, or what?
Man, you're asking me questions about a New England backfield. I
Can
have
you
no
play
clue.
him in your flex
Going forward, I would not trust him in my flex.
until you see it?
I need to see it again.
Okay.
Because there as realistic as I think it is that Damian Harris could be on the field again, I think it's equally as likely that they just run with Ramondre the rest of the way. Who knows?
It's not what they
Anyway.
tend to do, but
No.
it should
No, it's
be.
not.
It should easily be a 60-40. Ramondre's way. What did we learn, Dustin?
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
You gonna learn today.
We learned quite a few things, Trav. One of them being that this week was one of the most brutal of the season. Obviously, we've touched on a few, but let's talk about what we've learned in terms of injuries. Like you said, DK Metcalf going down. He's out for at least a few weeks. And we touched on Marquise Goodwin. Maybe that's someone we want to look into. So the question there is it Lockett season? Or are we staying away from the passing attack?
Not staying away from it. I'm going to keep going to it. I'm starting Lockett. I will probably start Goodwin in one place this week. Maybe
Okay.
Noah Fant gets a little bump now. Kenneth Walker should be fine. A lot of screen pass action. Maybe I think Gino probably take a little hit just
Sure.
on a projection basis, but he could make up for it with his legs. Maybe he connects with Goodwin on one or two. This team just feels like they'll find a way to be in every game, and their defense is not just holding people to low-scoring affairs. So I think they'll be fine. My what did we learn this week has nothing to do with football. It has to do with golf.
Oh,
And
yeah.
We had a round of golf for Dustin's bachelor party in Austin,
time.
Texas, and we learned that grass on the green is imperative to being able to
Oh.
putt and to shoot low scores.
Yep.
We were putting through landmines and actual sand traps, miniature sand traps on greens.
On the greens.
And
Yeah,
the best
that's-
news is that we will get to do it again for the wedding here in a month.
That's
Maybe
right.
they will fix their greens completely, and there will be green grass. That is what I learned, is that if you are going to play a golf course, ask them when you make the tee time if their greens have grass on them.
It's fair. That's a fair question.
Every hole we were like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
I'm going to post a picture. I'm going to post that picture. It's like, there's no way.
It was tough, man. It was tough. You make it to the green, make some clutch shots. You're like, yeah, no, we're just a one putt away, and then
Dustin
you look in.
you actually dropped putts from off the green through the landmines over 20 feet multiple times. There was magic going on your
It was
bachelor
magic.
party.
It was magic. It was a good. It was probably my best round I've played in a while.
Dustin, what are you doing with A.J. Dillon? He is
that's
the
a-
backup running back for the Green Bay
Yeah.
Packers, who are scorchingly cold right now.
I think you've got to bench him. You got to bench him. You can't drop him. I don't think you can drop him.
No.
But you can't start him, man. I mean, you've probably got look, if you've got Michael Carter on your bench and you had AJ Dillon, start Carter.
Yep.
You know, Carter or Robinson, I even think that might be better plays there. AJ Dillon, man. I mean, just look if we want to look at God, it's tough. It really is. I don't know what to do with him. You know, he's not
Bench. Easy choice.
The last few weeks in PPR, Travis. He hasn't had a double digit week since week 1 when he scored 20 points. After that, you know, the last 6 weeks, 8 points, 6 points, 9, 3, 9, 2. You got to bench him.
Any option whatsoever, he's on the bench.
You've got to bench him. Like Brian Robinson, you know, obviously you're gonna put him in. But yeah, AJ Dillon, man, just gone.
All right, next, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. What are we doing with Clyde? Because of bye weeks and injuries, I think
Maybe
he should get 8 to 10 touches.
It's been 3 weeks, Trav. It's been 3 weeks.
What did he have? 6, 7 touches this week? He scored.
Sure, but he had 9 PPR points this week. He had 3
With
the week
the touchdown.
before and 6 the week before that. He had 4 big weeks to start off the season, and he has gotten much, much worse.
All right,
since
to the
then.
bench goes Clyde as well. We are benching guys that were
Yeah.
fifth and
Yeah,
higher.
Put a feather in it. You know, it's done.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some trade bait guys. You mentioned Brandon Cooks, but Chase Claypool and DJ Moore. I'm more inclined to think that DJ Moore stays where he is. I don't think that I'm going to follow the hope dreams of the fantasy community and think that he's traded just because it would be nice for fantasy. But I think
really
there's a
wish he would
decent
be.
chance. I think there's a decent chance that Claypool moves. Although I'm not sure that the Steelers will want a reasonable or accept, you know, something reasonable. I think they'll want a big return, which maybe doesn't happen. Is there a chance that this trade deadline is just boring, Trav? Is that kind of what we're looking at?
I don't think so. I think the feeling in the air from last week was just kind of the beginning. It can be boring if Christian McCaffrey's
Sure.
already been moved. So
Yeah.
this week, though, let's just play this game.
Okay.
Let's say Claypool, Cooks, or Moore, if they went to the Packers individually,
Okay.
where do you have each of the 3 climbing up to in your weekly average rank?
If Claypool goes to the Packers, I mean he's a top 36 receiver. You know, I'd be interested, but even then I think he's a streamable wide receiver 3.
So not over Lazard.
No.
Okay.
Brandon
Lazard's
Cooks
in a
is-
sling. Jared did say that earlier.
Yeah, he is.
But let's just assume health back half
Sure.
of the season for the most part. You're still taking Lazard over
Yeah,
Claypool.
you still got to go with trust. Yeah,
Okay.
I think Claypool would be more of a substitution for Watkins. I mean,
Okay.
both honestly. Brandon Cooks, if he's traded, the vet kind of knows how the NFL works. He is familiar with that system. With LaFleur being as LaFleur was with Sean McVay, and McVay obviously ran that system with Brandon Cooks, so he would be familiar. I think Cooks would probably be my number 1 if he goes to the Packers. He'd be over these 3. I think he immediately jumps into, you know, an upside wide receiver 2 each week. Just because I think a guy like that, you can plug in. He's been around the NFL. He knows how to acclimate quickly to teams. DJ Moore, if he's traded to the Packers, I think it's going to take some time, but he's still very good. For the rest of the season, he'd be a fringe wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2.
DJ Moore on the Packers?
Yeah, because, I mean, how quickly does he get acclimated? How quickly is he playing? How quickly is that trust and rapport there?
I would say a receiver with that kind of talent and athleticism, like, to me, he's comparable right out of the gate, like second week there to Brandon Ayuk,
Okay, so do you think
which
that
is
Brandon
like 25.
Yeah, so like a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, like I said.
but I'm saying week 2, like he's immediately at that level. I think upside of top 12 to 15 if he becomes if they lock in. I mean, this is all
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
Small
the Packers
chance.
are not a wide receiver away from being good. Like I just want to make that clear.
they're already good. They're just in a rough stretch.
That offensive line needs help. That they need help.
All right. Finally, well, Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields. What are we doing with them? If you have Aaron Rodgers in redraft, would you trade him for Justin Fields?
I would. All
right.
I feel like there's more upside with Fields at this point than there is with Rodgers.
We're 7 weeks in. Rodgers hadn't hit 18 points yet. So at some point,
Yeah.
you're like, the upside's not there. You're right.
Right. Yeah. Half season.
Finishing with our always successful big picks breakdown. Dustin, you can start us off.
You know what? Had a great week this week, Trav. My quarterback, Jimmy G, didn't hit because the caveat here with the big picks is they have to go 5 points over projection, but he had a big game, 303 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. He lost a fumble as well. He didn't hit.
Is that why he didn't hit?
I think that is why he didn't hit.
Okay, I'm calling that a hit then. Jimmy G goes for over 300. That's a hit.
That feels good. Josh Jacobs. We know what happened with Josh Jacobs. He had a monster game, and 168 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, that's a monster game. So that's a hit.
So RB1 on the week?
I
Or was it
think he
Eckler?
was. No, actually, I think it was. Yeah, he was one. No, I don't have it in front of me.
Eckler 12 catches. That's a lot.
Yeah, I could check real quick. But anyway, Alan Lazard. Sorry, got sidetracked. Alan Lazard was my wide receiver big pick, and of course, as the curse goes, he was injured, and so he didn't finish the game. I think he was going he's going pretty well through the third quarter, and I think he would have scored, in this game had
They needed
he
him.
not gotten injured. To answer the question, Eckler outscored Jacobs by 1 point.
Ooh. All right, so your big pick only goes for the overall RB2.
Yep.
Tough luck.
Yep. And then my tight end, Evan Ingram, did not hit. He went 4 for 67. Not a bad game, but
I'm taking that all day. I mean, it's not a hit, but man,
yeah,
on bye weeks right now, a flyer tight end all day long.
for sure. What about you,
All right.
Trav? Who'd you go?
My boy Aaron Rodgers. This will be the last time he makes this segment for me. The skeleton behind me represents that he is still dead, and until he goes over 20, that sucker's staying right there.
That's right.
194 and 2. Yuck. Damian Pierce, though, 99 in a score, 3 for 14, 18.8 fantasy points. That is a hit. Damian Pierce is hot. Keep rolling with him. Brandon Ayuk, 7 for 82. Doesn't kill you, but does not count as a big pick. And finally, David Njoku also got hurt after a 7 for 71 day.
Yeah,
Again,
but we'll
kind of
take
like
that.
Evan Ingram. You'll take that all day long.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we lost Njoku for a few weeks. Get healthy. Maybe Harrison Bryant out there on the waiver wire if you need a tight end in a pinch. Be wary. You got your Mark Andrews shares out there. He's coming up on a bye soon. So make sure you're aware and be aware.
Be extra aware.
Be aware
Listen to
and make
Dustin.
sure you're aware. Aware.
We get it.
Okay, yeah, we get it. Okay, keep your eyes open. Right, tight ends, got it. We always look. It's a tradition here on Losing Sucks. We always end the show on tight ends, so that's where we're gonna tie it off, man.
48 hours.
Episode-
We'll be right back here.
84 in the books. We've got some more fun planned later this week. Make sure you're with us live on a Thursday. We're gonna be talking Week 8 and some other news as well. Got our big picks. And you know what? I think let's add in the heartfelt messages for next week, Trav. We're gonna do that. But that'll be it for this episode.
Oh, you mean from this past weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, let heartfelt messages. Messages to guys we need big performances from. A
Okay, I
plea
like it.
To guys,
I'll start
we need to
researching
perform.
now.
There you go. I want to thank everyone for listening. Thank you, everyone for interacting in the comments. It's been fun.
Thanks, Jared, man.
Jared, Ben, thanks for chiming in. Guys, it's been fun. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Losing Sucks and check out our website at losingsucksfantasy.com. Until Thursday, y'all, this has been Losing Sucks. I'm Dustin. That's Travis. And as always, losing sucks. Don't do it.